Hey, welcome to another edition of Blue Jay Banner Today, and we continue our series of checking in with some of the former Creighton assistants that are D1 coaches. And we just happened to stumble across Darren DeVries, head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, doing great. It's fun time of year for us, getting ready to get out there and get on the floor again.
Yeah. So normally when I've talked to the different guys, they've taken different jobs and so forth, and I say, well, what was your impetus of moving to this school and the right times to that's a stupid question because it's Indiana, for crying out loud. Now, that might not have as much boom to 16 and 18-year-olds as it does to you and I, but well, I will ask you this. So, what was it like walking into Assembly Hall for the first time as head coach of Indiana?
Yeah, I think for if you've never been there, you'll appreciate it the first time you do when you walk in, and it's just got just an aura to it. The feel, even when it's sitting empty, it's just got all that history. The banners hanging, and it's just one of the unique buildings in all of college basketball.
Well, and it's kind of a unique design too, right? I mean, you kind of see a lot of these cookie cutter arenas, and
Yeah, it's got a very unique feel. Really straight up and down on the sides. It's got kind of an auditorium type feel to it. Got some of the wood bleachers around the bottom. It's a cool college basketball venue.
well, I was gonna ask, how Tucker's doing, but you go 5 for 7, I think he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's excited. He's feeling good. I know he's anxious to get out there and get out there and compete with the guys.
Well, you can talk about you and Tucker, but let's talk about the most important person. How's Ashley? How's she adapting to the new surroundings? And she's gotta be, loving getting back in the Midwest.
Yeah, she's doing great. Daughter Tatum as well. So they've made the transition very smoothly and getting along great. So that's good for everybody.
Uh, I would think when you come into a program and nowadays, even if you're there 20 years, like Coach Max always says at Creighton, "Hey, the first thing I gotta do when season's over is recruit my own players." Uh, I would think it's a little bit easier because you have such a bulk of players in the portal where, 20 years ago, you didn't have that when you went to a new school.
Yeah, it's certainly different than it used to be. We didn't have any scholarship players returning, and if you did that 10 years ago, you're looking at a 3 to 4 or 5 year rebuild, and now with the portal, you get an opportunity to kind of get a roster put together much more quickly. So that's been the good part about having the portal and those opportunities. When you do take a new job, that you can get some guys in here right away that can help you compete, almost immediately.
Right, and I think you did that, and obviously you wanted to craft it the way you wanna play, so you went out and got a bunch of shooters, correct?
Yeah, I think we got great depth in that area, and that is, how we love to play. We love to, play fast and space the floor. Very similar to, a lot of the things we did, during our time at Creighton. So we've certainly taken that with us as well, just on the offensive side of having a lot of shooting out there and being able to play fast.
Well, I know it was against, a little lower competition, but nevertheless, you could stand out there by yourself. You still gotta make the shots, and the first game had to be, really good with the shooting perspective. How do you think the game went overall?
Yeah, I thought it went great. Even our guys, a little nervous first time out, and they're like everybody that those first couple games, and you're getting your game legs underneath you. But I thought we settled in. I thought we played incredibly hard. I thought we played really unselfishly, and I think that's a big reason why the shooting percentages were what they were. I thought we had great ball movement that led to great shots, and so I was excited about the way the guys approached it and played throughout the game.
Um, Talking with Coach McDermott at Creighton, talking with TJ at Iowa State, everybody's saying the same thing. We're worried about our defense. I'm sure you're working hard on the defense. Does the Big Ten present different challenges maybe than other conferences would?
Yeah, I think every league has a little bit of its own identity, and the Big Ten is certainly got some big physical centers, and that's I think kind of across the board. That's something you're going to have to deal with almost every night. So those are things that as we get into the Big Ten play, we've done a lot of film study throughout the summer and fall of looking at the different teams, but they all have some new rosters too. But just to get an overall feel for how the league's going to play out and some of the things that we felt like we needed to work on as we got ready for conference play. So we started doing that stuff, in the summertime and into the fall here. But now it's just getting ready to play games, and hopefully we've done enough to get ourselves ready for conference play.
Gee, big physical centers, you're not at all thinking about a team just right up the road from you, are you?
Yeah, they got a few. Yeah, there's several teams that have some guys on the interior that are big and physical, and that's probably where Mac and TJ and all of us coaches this time of year. It's trying to figure out, hey, how are we going to guard the other team. So, but that's what makes this time of year so fun. It's getting your guys ready to play and go play at a high level.
Speaking of that team up the road, Purdue, obviously, huge rivalry. Have you already begun to feel that?
Yeah, I think it gets mentioned, every time you walk down the street. So, no, it's a great rivalry. It's, what makes, college athletics, college basketball, those type of rivalries is what makes it so fun for all the fan bases.
Now, obviously, you have games that you're already set up with, but what was your kind of thought process with your non-conference schedule this year?
Yeah, I thought we got some really, really good games, some fun games. So we got, Kentucky on the schedule. We got Louisville on the schedule. We got Marquette, Kansas State, and then you have 20 Big Ten games. So I think it's a great schedule for us, but some big opportunities in non-conference play to, really challenge ourselves and get ourselves ready for Big Ten play.
Speaking of Big Ten schedule, quite a bit different than it was a decade ago. You're gonna be traveling 3 time zones. Have you even looked into that? Like, I know you're taking a trip out west, right, to
Yeah, we
USC and
have one
UCLA?
trip out west, to UCLA, USC, so that's our, kinda long one. Yeah, it's changed a lot, just the travel and the leagues and you're playing from coast to coast now, so, but it's, everybody's got the same, issues, travel issues, whatever, so, just gotta go line up and play and we'll figure out what the clock looks like when we get there.
Yeah. A little bit different plans than, say, a Drake, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
So, your squad, you brought in like you said, you had to pretty much bring in a bunch of new guys. Who's kind of, like, jumped out at you here in the early going, like, "Alright, this guy's maybe a little bit ahead of where I thought he'd be."
I think just overall our group is, I think it's been what we thought when we got them, so that's really a good thing. I think everybody in a positive way has come in and kind of played to the level that we thought they could. So that's the thing I'm most excited about. I think just as a group, what it and more so than even individuals is just how unselfish this group has been, throughout the summer and fall workouts, and then got to see it in our first, live action, that they really move and share the ball. So I'm excited to see how that plays out as the season goes on. Because if we continue to do that, I think we can be really good offensively.
You, just got back from Big Ten media days, that has to be, I mean, I think 10 when I go to these things that are 10 and 11 teams with 18 teams, it's gotta be a little bit crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there, that's for sure. Yeah, it's yeah, they got a big building to put everybody in to make that all work. So I wouldn't want to be the one in charge of all that.
Yeah. Um, a little off the beat topic here. So with the advent of, college basketball and these TV contracts and so on and so forth, you're in a lot of different networks. Teams are in different, there's network rotations constantly changing. And How much of a factor is that for times of your games and how the whole schedule goes, do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely impacted. I think again, maybe 10 years ago, almost every game was at 7 o'clock. And now
Yeah.
it's the games are on TV. It feels like almost 24/7 now, and they're trying to fill all those slots up. So you'll get some earlier start times, you'll get some later start times, and that's you gotta adjust your sleep schedule nightly.
Probably a bigger deal for the fans than it is for the team.
Yeah, probably. I mean, and during the season we don't sleep anyway, so we'll stay up a little later and play some games.
What do you hope to get accomplished in this next, exhibition game?
Yeah, I think it'll be a great test for us. We play Baylor, play them down or up in Indy, I should say, and we're excited about that. I think it's a good opportunity again, get in front of a crowd, play a really quality opponent, traditional, you know, NCAA tournament team. Good players, good coaches. So excited about that. And then we got a full week here to really work on that, and then after that game, we got another full week to really see where we're at and focus in on some things during practice before we get the regular season started.
Yeah, speaking of shooters, usually they got 2 or 3 guards that, can fill it up.
Yeah, they always have great depth, great length, and they mix up their defenses a little bit, which is good for us too. We'll get to see some different things and get to work on a variety of different components of the game that give us just a chance to get an early look at how we're doing with those areas.
So, obviously, this is a Creighton-based program, and so we gotta talk about the past here, but, first thing jumps out at me, like, how crazy is it gonna be to go up against Coach Altman?
Yeah, that'll be, a fun experience, and, incredibly grateful, obviously for my time there with Coach Altman, Coach McDermott, 2 of the best, to coach this game, but, that'll be certainly a little different being on the opposite sideline with him, but, looking forward to, getting the opportunity to, coach along the same sideline with him 'cause, I have so much respect for him.
You were probably there the day he said, "Yeah, not gonna coach past 60."
I don't think anybody believed that one. Yeah. I always joke with him. It's he can say whatever he wants 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm taking the over. Whatever he says, I'm taking the over.
Uh, you were kind of the bridge between Coach Altman and Coach McDermott at Creighton. What were I mean, they both like to play the up-tempo style, so that was probably the easiest part of the whole thing, but what were some of the nuances that you saw between the 2 guys? Not necessarily good or bad, just the nuances between the 2.
I think the biggest thing when you think about why they're both so successful is just how consistent they are in their approach. And they're, both got their own way of doing it and their own personalities. But I think if you take one thing away and go like, what makes both of them, win at a high level, it's, that from day to day, you know what you're going to get, and I certainly respected that, and there's a as I've gone on and been able to become a head coach, I try to do the same thing. Just be as consistent as possible, with every day, like what's important to you and approach it in that way.
Yeah. Um, any I mean, obviously coaching is Coach Altman, but I would think, probably being able to coach in some of these venues in the Big Ten is gonna be kinda exciting too.
Yeah, some terrific home court environments throughout the country, and the Big Ten has some of the best that there are. So, we're looking forward to those opportunities, and that's what makes college basketball so special. That's why it's such an awesome sport. You do get those big crowds, and you get the students in there, and it makes for a really fun and enjoyable atmosphere, or at least partly enjoyable.
So, do you take anything away? I mean, it's such a global national game, it's probably a silly question, but do you take anything away from the fact that you're a Midwest guy? So, does that help you at all with transitioning into this job?
I think just, some familiarity with the region and recruiting and contacts and those type of things. So there's certainly a comfort level there, but, and being around it, knowing the league just from, growing up, in Iowa and in the Midwest, just have a great understanding and feel for the conference in general.
Final question, we'll let you get out of here on this one. So, I think the fans kinda care about Indiana basketball last time I looked. Uh, how there's gotta be incredible demand, when you go from an assistant coach to a head coach, all of a sudden, that's the big thing, right? You're not just running practices, you got a lot of demands on you, and it scales up. It's gotta be at a totally new level now at Indiana with all the focus and media and so forth, fans, everything. How have you adjusted to that and as trending up to the season I would think you really have to manage your time.
Yeah, I think that's, you have to be great at that regardless, time management, we talk to our guys about it all the time too, but, as a head coach, you certainly gotta, prioritize your time and make the most of, every opportunity, but, it's something also like it's also what makes this job so special is, people do care, they love it, they enjoy being in assembly hall and there's a great turnout every night and that's why we're so excited to get this season started and get in front of our fans.
Well, going by social media, I know they're very excited about that 15 out of 30. They're saying we'll take that every night. Um, well, yeah. Thanks so much for joining me. You're probably speaking of time. You're probably like, "Hey, I got better things to do than talk to this idiot." I thought I'd never see him again. Thanks, D Rock. We miss you out of Players Club, and best of luck this season. I'm hoping to maybe get a chance to go to a game here at some point, but we'll see how that goes. But thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, and best of luck.
You bet. Great talking to you. Talk
All right,
soon.
thanks.